Hello, and welcome to my reselling channel, Flippin Hippos. I'm Star. Today is Monday, so we're looking at the what sold on all the places highlight reel. Last week, we kind of talked about how being a volume seller and selling a lot of the same items over and over can be boring. I think for the purpose of these what sold videos, I'm not bored. Like, I don't want to give out that misconception. I am not bored with what I source and list. I prefer my method. I really like my business model. In fact, I built my business model in order to make myself happy. You know, we're all our own bosses, and we shouldn't be doing anything that doesn't make us happy. We shouldn't be doing things that make us miserable. So if you don't like to thrift and you want to sit around your house in your pajamas and just have things delivered to your front door, you can do that. And that's exactly what I do. And I enjoy it. I could sit here and photograph 100 necklaces or 100 pairs of American Eagle jeans or 100 swimsuits while I have my true crime and horror movies on and my pajamas in the comfort of my own home. And I am content. I am not at all saying doing this is boring, although it might be for some of you. A lot of my friends really love the thrill of the hunt and they love to go thrifting. And this would be boring to them. You got to find what makes you happy and what you're capable of doing. But don't sell things. Don't do things you don't want to do. As long as you're making money, as long as you're, I was going to say paying your bills, but not everybody even does reselling to pay your bills. Some people do it to, well, pay off debt or go on a vacation or just have extra pocket money, fun money. So whatever reason you're doing this for, if you're doing what you need to do and you are happy, then you're fine. You're good. I've been doing this since 2017 when I got hurt at work and became disabled. And so that's like 9 years of me taking criticism from people for 9 years about how I source, what I list, my average sale price, the items that I list, how it's not worth it, what I do isn't worth it. And I've been listening to that for 9 years. It's worth it. My bills are paid. I have food in my fridge. I have extra money to do all the fun things that I want to do. I work really, really hard on very strict routines and schedules and have my evenings and weekends free for the most part to read and watch movies, two things I love to do. It's worth it. I love what I do. If everything I buy has a low cost of goods and I'm okay with listing $15 and $20, $25 items, that's my business, not yours. And you need to learn how to have that concept and mentality as well. When other resellers are telling you that you're not doing something right. Now, clearly, if you're not using the correct formula for an eBay title, or, you know, running sales or doing all of the best business practices and somebody means well when they say, hey, they shouldn't go, hey, you're not doing that right. That's rude. But hey, have you tried running sales? Have you tried doing it this way? Obviously, there's always room for improvement and constructive criticism and advice and trying new things and learning from other resellers. But I mean, just the downright, you don't do this right. You're dumb. You're average sale. You know what people like to say. You just need to look at them and say, no, you're wrong. This works for me. I resell to pay my bills, not yours, not anybody else's. I'm not doing this for anybody else. So I'm only going to do the things that I want to do and that I like to do. And if that doesn't look like something that would work for you, find what does. And I guarantee you that 9 out of 10 resellers do things that would absolutely make me not happy. I could never drive around town all day looking for bargains. That's not me. So I just wanted to give this little pep talk, tough love up front here this week before we start the highlight reel, and address the boring comment, because I had a lot of people message me and say, you're bored with what you do. Why don't you do something different? Why don't you try sourcing? Why don't you try thrifting? And I'm like, oh my goodness. I didn't mean it that way. I meant it for you guys to look at the same stuff over and over. I don't really get bored. I could sit and list for hours on end, and nobody else in the world likes to list. Do you like to list? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, we had lost our power last Friday, the 13th, and it was out until late Sunday. And then our internet was out from Friday until Tuesday, and then it went out Wednesday again for part of the day. So it's been a rough week. Our sales were slow. I mean, they definitely reflected like our weekend sales, because Fridays through Sundays is usually when I have my list perfectly, sharing my Posh Closet and sending out offers. So our sales were down. It reflected that. But I easily bounded back and got all my listings up, and I think we're feeling the effort I've been putting in. I worked off my hotspot a couple times. I'm going to talk more about that in a video later this week. Today, I just want to show you the highlights, and I have actually quite a few in spite of life happening, and let's just get to it. Let me share my screen with you. Let's look at these Nike Pro black compression leggings. I don't do a lot of fitness or athletic wear, simply because I don't really find it at the Goodwill when I do go there. And I don't get a lot of it in the bulk buys. I have a lot of friends who love doing athletic wear and love these compression leggings. You can see these sold for right around $22 with shipping all in. If your cost of goods is $1 to $2 or even less, that's a pretty good flip. And so I would suggest looking out for compression leggings. Everyone knows. I mean, Nike, I think, doesn't comp or list for what it used to. It's one of those brands that has been raced to the bottom. It's probably lost a little bit of popularity, but I still see, I don't know. Has it lost popularity? Let me know what you think about that, because I like to say it doesn't. It hasn't. But there's just a lot of brands that get oversaturated on eBay that you see kind of take that tumble to the bottom over time. But still, athletic wear, period. Compression leggings and Nike. Those are all three good things to look for. These ceramic carved pieces of jewelry, I've had necklaces, bracelets, rings, and earrings. They're usually flowers. They're usually floral. And they're glass and they're carved. I do really well with these, regardless of the vessel of jewelry it is. When they're this mint green color, I'll usually call them retro 60s. People really like these carved floral rose pieces. This sold for right around $17, $18 all in. We have a Victoria's Secret, Victoria's Secret knockout cheetah print. I love bras. I say it all the time. Maybe I haven't said it all the time, but I think it all the time. But this is the second time this week I said it in my swimsuit video. I love bras. I love listing bras. I had a whole bunch of them, new with tags and some used, from one of the buyouts I did from one of my friends last year. And I finally got around to listing them all. Victoria's Secret is still a good brand. This sold for almost $30. This is a very special, very pretty bra. It's got the zipper in the middle. It's a very nice bra. But Victoria's Secret in general is a good brand. I like to look at the bras when I do go to Goodwill and get all the bras that are 99 cents that are decent brands. The larger sizes, the bigger cups, I do wash them, do not dry them. Like even my own personal bras, TMI, I don't put them in the dryer. It just wears them out too quickly. And so you want to take them out of the dryer and like hang them by one of the straps on like a doorknob. But I do love bras. This one sold like for almost $30. It is a special one too. So if you see bras that look unique with the zippers or anything like that, absolutely grab them. The bigger cups do really well too. Cameos do really well. And cameos can come in so many different variations. There's the Gothic looking ones. There's the traditional Victorian looking ones. They come on pendants, necklaces, lockets. I love cameos. They're so fun, and they usually have a really good fast sell-through rate. This one sold for almost $20 all in. And it's not the fanciest one. It's a piece of lace, basically, with a cameo on it. Moda International is a good brand. That's what the tag looks like. You want to look for that when you're out and about. I like Moda International. These in particular were some black wide leg trousers. I put black flare pants in the title, but you could also say wide leg trousers, high waist, they're slacks, they're pants. And these sold for right at $37 all in. So do look for this brand. And this is the size 10, which is usually a hard move. You know, the mid sizes are kind of harder to move. Massimo, I talk about this brand all the time, and I have for the last 9 years. It is a Target brand. Massimo is not sold at Target anymore. So what I've been saying for 9 years is even more true now. Massimo has a loyal customer base. And now they can't even find the new styles and the new seasons at Target stores, period. So if they've ever liked anything or felt comfortable in anything, or, you know, this was my favorite cardigan, it wore out, I need to replace it. The Massimo people are online, definitely looking for clothes. This is just a nice thin, deep V-neck, button-up cardigan, size extra large. It sold for $15 on Poshmark, so that's like a $12 profit on a Target brand that most people, $11 after my $1 cost of goods, that most people just overlook. The same with these. These came in a bulk buy. I would not purposely source this brand, not even if it was $1. I would pass it up at the thrift. But my point with these is they came in a bulk buy, a wholesale purchase, and unless something out of one of those buys is completely damaged, broken zipper, ripped crotch, things like that, I'm going to list everything in the box and make every single penny I can out of it. That's just my mentality, being a volume seller, and the way I work. You know, I spend a whole day taking photos, and then I build all those listings, and then I just push out what I need each day, and I keep huge banks. Just the way I work, I'm fine just taking a whole entire box and listing everything from it. And I still made like $8 on this. These capri sweatpants. I almost kept them for myself. And then I thought, well, I'll list them, and then they sold. Pink Ribbon Breast Cancer Awareness. I like scrub tops. They're solid bread and butter. Some that you can find that are going to be larger sizes, or Disney or Marvel or things like that, can go for more than $20. But most of the scrub tops are going to be bread and butter. Anything with graphics is going to go for more money than the plain ones. I actually leave the plain ones behind. But when I do go thrifting, I go once a month with my friends here with eBay Seller Circles. One of the first places I usually hit up is the bras, the swimsuit, the scrubs, and lately the pajamas. That's something new. I look at the jeans and plus size tops, but I always like beeline to the bras and scrub tops. I like selling scrub tops. Lee jeans. These are mid-rise skinny. I mean, this is just like a good bread and butter brand. This would have sold for about $20 on eBay. And you still make $10, $11 on Poshmark. I like Lee. It's a solid bread and butter brand, especially if you can find these larger sizes and petites. I wear petite because I'm like 5'0", and it's really hard for me to find pants and jeans that don't drag on the ground, that I'm not walking all over. So I get it that petites are like really sought after by us short folk. Just a couple of highlights from Etsy this week. I sell a lot of jewelry on Etsy. I list more than that. I list my vintage clothing, my vintage plush. I've been putting some of my vintage DVDs over there. But most of what I sell is jewelry on Etsy. And plush probably is second. So I just wanted to show you a couple pieces that I thought were worth mentioning. This is just plastic rings, acrylic, and seed beads. And just a nice piece of costume jewelry that sold for $24. And I know I talk about this a lot on this channel about pricing costume jewelry accordingly, because it's important for me to keep repeating that and teaching it to you guys, because I know a lot of people look at costume jewelry and think, oh, that's not worth anything, or that's not worth my time. This isn't a $5 necklace. This is a $24 necklace. My throat is really dry, so I keep taking drinks. I apologize. But I'm starting to sound like a frog. And then this is a resin bangle bracelet. It's got these really neat purple and gold accents. This kind of reminds me of Mardi Gras. I don't know. Does it remind you of Mardi Gras? It's sold during the right time frame for someone who might be wearing this for Mardi Gras season, Lent season. But again, this sold for $24. And I know people who think, this should go up for $5. Don't be afraid to list items at what you value them at. And don't forget to value yourself. That's the most important lesson. Your time to source items, photograph, list, you're worth something. You gotta think of yourself as a valuable employee. Oh my Lord! Hell froze over. I had a sale on Depop. You can see the last one I had was February 18th. I have not had very many sales on Depop. Full disclosure, full transparency. I started listing on there last November when there was like a seminar that they had with List Perfectly, and then there was like a contest. And at first I was all gung-ho and I was moving 25 items a day. I'm moving 5 a day. And that's not every day. It should be. Let me tell you that. You should always be consistent on any platform you're on. You should be listing consistently every day. But because Depop doesn't really sell that much, it's not giving me a return on my time investment. That's a good way to put it. When I list more on Etsy, when I list more on Poshmark, on eBay, I see that return on my time investment. I see that I get more sales. Depop, I don't really see that so much. Do I want to stop listing there and get rid of it? No. I mean, you can see Mercari doesn't even have any highlights this week. And I still haven't, well, I did. Once upon a time, back at the end of 24, I did stop listing on Mercari for a long time. And then I started selling more when they changed their fee structure back to the original way that buyers were not paying it. And now I list on there again. I sold a couple of scrub tops. Speaking of scrub tops, I actually sold a couple of just bread and butter scrub tops on Mercari last week. And this one Disney, can I look at? Yeah. T-shirt on Depop. I'm not going to give up on either platform, but they're not my priority. So I have an order. I go in each morning when I'm pushing my listings out. And I say pushing my listings out because I always have a bank all ready to go of listings that are already built. And I make sure eBay is always my priority. And then Poshmark, Etsy, Mercari, and Whatnot are kind of tied because I do pretty good on Whatnot static. But Depop is always my last. So if I run out of time or I don't have enough time today to do all my listings because I got some other stuff going on, I don't feel like it's a huge loss if I skip Depop for a day. But I would never skip eBay. And I only skipped Poshmark and Etsy last week because I had no choice when I lost my power and my internet. As soon as the power was back up, I was listing on my hotspot on my phone. But I guess my 3 that I list on every day no matter what is Poshmark, Etsy, and eBay. But I sold something, and no, I'm not ready to give up on Depop. I'll move a couple a week. It'll be okay. I pulled up my solds on Whatnot on my List Perfectly catalog to show you and realize, oh my goodness, these are all the plushies I sold last week because Monday I had no power and I had to cancel my Whatnot show. I do Whatnot shows every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern of plushies. And I had to cancel that this week. And I was very sad. I'm going to put my Whatnot schedule down in the description box for you guys because I do a couple of raid trains. And a lot of us price our items on Whatnot to quickly get rid of it. It's stuff we have overstock of, stuff we're getting really cheap, wholesale. And me and my friends that do the raid trains together from 10th of Maine. And when I do mine alone, I leave a lot of room on the bone. You could like source from me if you wanted to and other people. I like sourcing on Whatnot. Whatnot is a good time. I like selling there. I like buying there. I am a huge fan of Whatnot these days. Makes me feel like a nerd, but what kind of shirt am I wearing? I am a dork. I really like Whatnot. All right. I talked about a lot in this video, but I had a lot to say. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything you saw or heard in your quest for anything, just let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because it helps me feed my hungry hippos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.